What is going on, everyone?
Cool. Let me know, everyone. If you can see the, I know the chat isn't working for some reason, but if you can see PlusUltra and GeeksForFun, let me know. I'll be looking.
It's a little bit behind, so but
yeah, there's gonna be a bit of latency on their end.
I'm saying hello, yo, howdy, Smog. Your mic is low.
My mic is low.
End. Yes.
All right.
Mic low for everyone, but the audio is a bit low. So audio is a bit low for everybody.
All right. Hello.
Smug, you can go to our actual individual Discord profiles and actually individually turn up our volume for them as well.
Okay, gotcha.
Right clicking.
It'd be quiet though.
Yeah,
okay,
and for
I
you,
turned both
if you
of us
go to your
up to the max.
Bet.
On
and if you go to your Streamlabs, you should be able to
okay, this says better. This says better.
Perfect.
All right, cool.
Excellent.
Hey, Dragon Ball Universe in the chat. Josh, how's it going, man? Very cool. I'm excited.
We're here.
This is obviously a little bit of a test. So it's not gonna be perfect. Like I said, the chat isn't really working, and you guys stopped.
Also, Geeks and Plus aren't moving. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
you guys aren't moving anymore.
It might be worth turning our cameras off and going just for the audio, like we said we would originally, and just leaving Luisa on screen, and that way we might also get the stream to be a bit more up to speed.
Yeah, of course. I'm fine to see if that works.
So if you guys want to turn off your cameras, that's fine.
Sure.
Okie dokie.
Let me just figure some stuff out here.
And guys in the chat, thank you for bearing with us. This is again just testing things out and making sure things go, and then we'll be able to jump right into it because we want to make sure everything's sorted out now, so that halfway through the stream there isn't an issue and all of that. So don't worry.
We strive for professionalism. We're never going to achieve it.
No, we won't. But it's worth to strive. Like Goku, we'll never get Sora. What does it mean by Sigma male?
Oh man, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. Ignore that.
I thought we weren't going to acknowledge what was already on the
Look, I had to read that comment. That comment was too perfect. Listen,
we had an understanding. We just let it all go. All right. What if Goku got drip early? That's the end of the timeline. We're done.
What if Goku got drip early?
Oh man, that's really funny.
Here, I'm just gonna.
Actually, I think my phone is seeing chat a bit quicker, so I might read from that.
I'm gonna add the music and put it in the background, see if it works.
It should work pretty well. If you'll just like fool around with the yeah.
Will do.
And you can also go to the individual like stream or
right. Oh, the chat's on the screen now, so that's cool.
That's what we want.
We're getting there. We're leveling up bit by bit.
What if Goku was built different? All right. Well, we have them telling us if the audio is working and all that stuff. Welcome to the first Just Imagine What If live stream. This is gonna be a weekly thing that we do, the three of us. We may have some guests here and there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Basically, we're going to discuss different what-ifs. We're going to be working through what-ifs together. We're going to be discussing writing, the process of writing, not just for what-ifs, but you can apply it anywhere, really. Because writing what-ifs is not much different than writing any other story. You just have established characters that you already know pretty well. And if you're a writer that, knows your characters pretty well, you're basically just writing what-ifs with your own characters. So it'll be applicable to anything, really. But yeah, if you guys want to introduce yourselves to my audience.
Geeks, would you like to go?
Yeah, sure thing. I always like to steal the spotlight. Hi, folks. My name is a Geek for Fun. And over on my channel, we do what-ifs as well, but with a little bit of a different twist. We prefer to focus mainly on one series at a time. In this case, our current big too much because it's a long series so far in multiple sagas. And our biggest and best saga yet, the Doom Saga, just kicked off. So if you want to get used to our things, you can go check that out. If you want a what if that's maybe in a little bit more of the style that you might be used to, check out our What If Norse Gods Were in Dragon Ball video. And that's all got the same things we normally do. We bring in voice actors and all of that. Masako X is our Goku in the Norse God video. So there's a lot of stuff to check out. And hopefully you'll be able to get a vibe of how we do things over on that and how we write our stories.
1 second, PlusUltra. Before you introduce yourself, you already got a first super chat. I just want to acknowledge it. If Geek is here, Smug, does that mean you two have resolved your bitter rivalry?
No, we just thought we'd fight in a public setting.
Yeah, no, that's never gonna be resolved, man. But
don't do anything for free.
It will only be resolved when you stop drawing graph.
Thanks for the $5, Trenton. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Plus.
Yo, so guys, my name is PlusUltraMan. You can call me Plus, you can call me Ultra, whatever you want to do. Just don't call me late for dinner. Hey-o. I also do what-ifs. I am no different from Smug, only in that I do what-ifs on a myriad more topics and, shonen genres. Currently about to expand that to one more that I haven't done anything on yet. And we're probably going to be starting to do shonen series that haven't been covered much in different ways like that. I've done things on My Hero Academia, Naruto, which I've gotten kind of successful with. And I've also done Dragon Ball stuff. I want to continue to expand that catalog. And a big goal with this whole, weekly thing, what we're starting to do here, is making sure that all three of us here involved in it are going to be improving and also making our what-ifs come out faster, as well as trying to kind of help the communities around us get better at crafting stories and suggesting them to us, basically. That was our whole plan with the site. And that's who I am. I'm the guy I just told you I was.
All right. Sicko Mode and me, of course. There may be people from these guys' channels that don't know me. I'm Smugstick. I do what if, Dragon Ball what ifs, and sometimes non-what if stuff like analysis and stuff like that. I like Dragon Ball a lot, and that's it. But yeah, I'm not sure how we wanted to get this started.
Well, I think the first one that we should get started is kind of introducing the premise. So you know what? We'll leave this up here, but we'll scroll down on the dock to get that off the screen just so we can have a thing. Is how we're going to be doing this.
I say we actually just delete all.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke while it lasted. All right.
But how we're going to be doing it is we're going to be just to get you guys started, so you know what we're going to be doing. Is we're going to be pitching back and forth a premise and kind of breaking it down, where we want things to go, what character motivations, what maybe cool moments we want to make sure, and how to build up to them, which is going to take a little bit, but hopefully as we do it just as ourselves without much interaction from the chat, except for like now and again if you want to see super chats and stuff, you'll get to see behind the curtain a little bit, and you'll see how we do our videos. And the first one that we had for that was from you, PlusUltra. You had an idea that you wanted to workshop that I think was really good as a good testing ground, which we can talk amongst ourselves here. You can want to introduce it.
Oh, sure. The idea I had actually is a spawn of a what if from an idea that you were giving me and Smug when we were beginning to talk about this project. It was something that you've been doing with DBDC, in that when you start a certain saga of the story has a central theme, a central change that has happened. That being Goku and the Saiyans are in the DC universe, and all these stories will be titled different sagas, will flow forth from that one central change. That helps on a lot of things with the what if formula that we've kind of noticed with YouTube here, because as you go on with a certain topic for long enough, views will just kind of steadily decline because it's just natural interest waning. It just happens. So what I would want to do with one of my stories, which is what if the human Z fighters became Saiyans, I would like to take the child characters that have come from Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien, being stronger, more prominent characters in the series, and having kids of their own who in this timeline are Saiyan hybrids, just like Goten and Trunks are, and giving them a chance to elaborate on a plot point that I kind of opened up at the end of, or do you focus on what you've been doing this entire time? And hearing that from Geeks, I decided to make a new story from that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really good start. Just to break it down so people in the chat can follow along, and I think this is a good way. Whenever you're building up a story, especially one that's going to be, you're planning to be long, you want to make sure you've got your core, because no matter where you go and what directions you go, this is the thing that's going to all hold it together. This is the thing that's going to be your center. So this whole thing, what if, even before we get into the children stuff, this whole thing, what if human Z-Fighters were Saiyans? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is coming from the idea of wanting these human characters to become more relevant in the story, correct?
Yeah, that is definitely the basis of that story. The main theme that kind of comes through that story is one that I tried to use the character of Tien to, or Tenshinhan, or however you want to pronounce his name, or use whatever translation you want to use. I love saying Tenshinhan more, actually. His character, because I perceived him to be somebody who would not be very much, oh yeah, no, I'm facing adversity, let me change and take the easier path. He is not somebody who, just because things have gotten harder for him, he will give up on what he's currently working at. He is a very, very tenacious person. So when he is faced with this concept by Krillin in that story, because the way it plays out is after Trunks warns everybody of the androids, Krillin is like, damn, we got just like destroyed like that, and it was just Gohan left? That's like really rough for me to have to like deal with. Because like in a real story, I feel like that kind of would be a heavy thing to put on a character like that. So exploring that idea, he poses the question to Yamcha and Tien, or Tenshinhan, is just like, yo, it's been the Saiyans that have been like above and beyond all the threats we've had to deal with so far. King Piccolo, Vegeta when they came, Piccolo Jr., all these threats, it's been a Saiyan that posed a threat that like really, came through the day for us. So what if for this once, we didn't leave it to Goku? We took this into our own hands and we just got it done ourselves. Because this isn't some like children's manga. We shouldn't just sit back and let ourselves be defeated. And the person that pushes back the most on that idea is Tien, because of this idea of, well, if I just keep training, if I actually just show tenacity at it, that should make up for it. That should be enough. We know, like in the actual story, it's not, but it's a fun thing to play with. And I think if you make those characters more relevant and stronger, and have them be closer to each other, which is also something that kind of comes from the story, you could kind of make them more relevant without making them so relevant that they break the story, or that they're just shoehorned into everything.
Okay, no, all right. I think that's a good foundation. And so we're not just talking about the videos you've already done. If people want to check those out, they can, and have a thing in the chat. Let's let's kind of break down this arc. At least general ideas, correct? So I haven't watched those videos, which is why I'm ashamed. And you can be smarter than Geek right now if you go to PlusUltraMan's channel and watch those videos. You'll have information that I don't have. Before we go into that, let's say, how did they become? It was a wish from the Dragon Balls, right? Is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, the way I set that up is they get the idea, they go and float the idea to Kami to ask, like, do you think that's something the Dragon Balls would be capable of? He'd probably be like, well, you guys are stronger than me, and that's like asking me to like from every bit of your like, you know, makeup change who you are. So I'd probably have to like do that with your like soul not attached to your body, create a new body for you that is a Saiyan body, and then let your soul inhabit that body, which I feel like should be something that Shenron is capable of, because if he can reform a human body and a Saiyan body, he would know the physical makeup of each. If he could choose which souls go into which bodies, same thing with that.
Yeah, that tracks.
So, yeah, just did it that way. And they just had to die beforehand.
I mean, okay. So they always have to die. The humans can't escape from that. All right. So I don't know if you've realized this. You might have, but the first thing that came to my mind now that you've said all of these things up, right, and you've got these children, is you have all of this start from a use of the Dragon Balls to change their body. Where have you set up where we're going now? Namek, the home of the Dragon Balls. I think this is where you do they are now faced with the consequences of maybe not supposed to do that to people because it upsets the natural order of things, and it messes with key channels and people's souls, and it messes with the other world. And because we know different planets have different hells from Resurrection F, so that means if you change someone from where they are, it means that their species and their biology and all the things with Super Saiyan, it just messes up the gears, it gunks up things. So now that you have these children who are like 2 layers removed from all of that, is they're not only just they're not naturally meant to be Saiyans because of a witch, but now they are the like half human Saiyan hybrid weird. Like there's so much weird paradoxical things going in this existence. I think you come up with a situation where the children do they know that? Do they know that their parents made that wish, that they weren't born that way?
There is a small plot point that I feel like now that you're asking me this, I never elaborated on it enough that it was like explicit that it says, oh, all the kids know that their parents were originally human. Tien's daughter, the one that has the third eye gene as well, which is something that you just said that actually made me think of that she's supposed to be like canonically from the same race that he is, but just by genetics. So that's something that she has. There's once an altercation between her and Kid Trunks over like, hey, you have a third eye. That's weird. He bullies her about it. Cries like, usual kid stuff you'd imagine. Mm-hmm. And actually revealed that to be because Trunks and her kind of have like a crush for each other. Because Vegeta and Tien probably would have the most reason to still have beef with each other. And I like setting up characters that probably shouldn't be together. That'd be fun. But after that altercation, she kind of comes and is like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, why am I so different than everybody else? And Tien explains like all the decisions he's made. Because at that point, he has also made the decision to return to being human. There is, Geek said he hasn't seen it yet. There's the one major plot point in the series where he makes a mistake. And instead of allowing him to go completely scot-free from that mistake, instead of allowing him to just walk completely away from it and not have to face any consequences about it, Tien says, no, I refuse to do that. I'm going to repent in some way. I relinquish being a Saiyan. I relinquish the path to such easy power that I used to take. I will no longer take that because I don't feel like I deserve it anymore. Because we also see with the King Piccolo saga that he's also a very relenting character. When he feels like he's wronged somebody, when he feels like he's really not the right path, he will like, damn, I'm not the true warrior I thought it was. Yada, 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 yada. That was more of a Toei filler scene, but it was still a very important part of the character. I feel like was communicated in just his base writing as well.
Real quick,
go ahead.
I'm not talking much because I'm like figuring all this stuff out with the stream. Some people were asking why I was so quiet. So I'm a little focused on this right now. I'll make sure to contribute a little more.
No, don't worry, man. We've got it. You just let us know. Hopefully, again, it lets us take care of this, so you can actually do the actual work. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because you are hosting right now.
Exactly. Make sure again if you're coming from our channels, go to subscribe to Smugster, put on notifications. It's he's doing the Lord's work right now, making sure this is happening at all. Okay, you fill me in. I've got a thing. What I want you to do is I want you to write out your main character of this saga. That doesn't mean your only character, and doesn't mean you have to have just one. But I think it always helps when you're starting building up a new saga to pick who is the protagonist of this story. And you can have groups of people, but some of them are going to be side protagonists, and some of them are going to be other interests or rivals and all of that. Just who is going to be your main focus? Who is this saga about? One of the children, one of the adults, let me know, and then write their name in the document.
Oh man, that's rough. I can say really easily it won't be one of the adults, and I'll say that because one thing I didn't express with that whole going into space with Trunks idea, Gohan, who works with Trunks very, very closely in this story, they actually end up being trapped in the future for like a portion of time, and they have to fight off Black and Zamasu for a really, really long time. And it's actually a moment where kind of Gohan steps up and is the defender of the future once again, and kind of makes this promise to Trunks like, yo, there was part of me, there was a version of me that when he stood with you, he couldn't stand against this evil. I promise that won't be me. I will not fall to you. I'm gonna get you back to it. All that stuff.
That's a really good moment. That sounds really awesome.
Yeah. So after Trunks like poses that question, Gohan's like, damn, this is my boy. I really want to go with him to that, but like I have a job, I have other obligations to that stuff, and like Mom is already going off on Goten and Trunks about even posing this question. So I know one idea I really want to have is Gohan and Trunks in this story being the mentors to the children. So they will be written a lot more competently than they might usually be. They might be written a bit more, hey, you get to come in and fix this situation because the kids didn't have the know-how or the fighting expertise to do it here. They'll have moments like that. I don't know if they'll just be overpowering all the obstacles we throw in their way. But yeah, I really want those two to be set a bit more into themselves, because I feel like their character arcs have been, if not completed, they've been rounded off to somewhere that's very, very clean for them. And I don't think starting a new story where I don't plan for them to be the main character would be the point to start a new character arc. I'm into that. I'm going to say, yeah. So I'm going to say that my main characters for this story would be either Goten or Trunks. And the reason I say that is because they are literally the representatives of what we think of as the new generation of Z fighters. You could say it was Gohan himself, which he's already here teaching. But I feel like Gohan is introduced in such a staple moment of the series that people wouldn't really count him as one of the new generation anymore. They just kind of count him among the Z fighters. They just kind of count him among Tien and Yamcha and all of them. Because in the openings, you see him there with them, just like Trunks is. You don't see Goten and Trunks in there until way later, and we get new openings and stuff.
Yeah. So what is like your vision for these two? Because with Goten, and I've actually taken this advice from Alfie for my what if Super 17 was in Super series. What is like your vision for those two? Because Goten's a little bit more of a blank slate, so you can do a little more with him and really make him your own.
My idea for these two in this story would be every character in Dragon Ball kind of had some arc where I think they really came into their own. Or not even just in Dragon Ball. That's pretty much just an all shonen and all just storytelling. If there's a long form story where you have multiple characters, there's probably going to be some events where character A, character B, character C, all the way to character X have defined themselves, characterized themselves, vilified themselves. There's going to be something that really defines them. Up to this point, Super hasn't done anything with Trunks or Goten. And this part of the story is taking place in Super. So I feel like this would be the best place for them to kind of start stepping into those characters that we see at the end of Z. Goten starting to be more and more interested in girls, but maybe still trying to give him something that is a basis, but beyond that. Like, yo, you can like girls. That's actually a really cool thing to do. You just like, if you just enjoy like romance and stuff, that's cool. But like, don't just be about that. Be a character that is beyond that as well. For Trunks, also that just kind of like the he kind of gets characterization in Super with the relationship with Mai, but that's not really looked upon in the best of lights with most people, which is also a very big advantage of this story with characters that are Trunks' own age, that you could, you know, have him interact with and bounce off of instead of like 40-year-olds and like toddler bodies, you know? So yeah, it would be just kind of giving them that chance to start stepping into their own roles and defining themselves. And that would be a really cool thing for this kid Trunks to have to do, because like, yo, Big Trunks is literally right there. I'm watching him fight. I'm seeing him with the sword. He's cool. Oh shit, he did the thing where he throws it up and then he catches it in the scabbard without touching it. I can't do that. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna live up to him? Dad thinks he's cool. Like, that'll be a really cool thing to put Trunks through, to where on the other side of that, no matter who it is, Trunks will be different from future Trunks. He'll be different from the present Trunks that he was going into that story. He'll be his own man. And I think that'd be a really cool place to take his character as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's always a thing I like to do with the kids, is like taking parts of like the people that have influenced them. And to reference back to the Super 17 video series I did. I have a part where they're being hunted down by Super 17, and Trunks realizes that that he's always never really been his own person, and so he starts thinking, you know, taking parts of like everyone that's influenced him. So like Bulma, Vegeta, future Trunks is the one he realizes. Like, of course I'm gonna take stuff from my mom and my dad, but like I also have my future self to take things from and to be influenced by, and to become like a better whole version of the three of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that kind of stuff is always super interesting.
I think another reason that I really like doing stories with the children is because Super goes out of its way sometimes to kind of take them out of the action. Like recently in the Mora arc, we get a shot of them sending Goku and everybody their energy, but the like last bit of them we get that arc, which I actually really liked, is in a speechless panel where you just I'm the adult here. And
you cut out. What did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry.
The last panel of them.
Yeah, one of the last panels of, I think it was one of the chapters. It might be the chapter when Granola is actually revealed in one of the newest chapters. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the Mora arc, we had seen where Goten and Trunks had sent Goku and Vegeta their energy. And we don't see them again until at a party at Bulma's where they're eating, and you see them looking at Gohan like really, really angry, and Gohan just kind of rubbing his neck nervously, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't put you guys in that situation, you're kids."
That's right.
Yeah, and I loved and I hated that. I loved that because, damn, that's really true to how I think that relationship should go. Goten and Trunks should be like little brothers to this dude. Like, he has literally seen them grow up before his eyes. They've seen the same thing. They're probably going to be like babysitting hands at some point soon. Like, that's the way this relationship probably should be characterized. Gohan shouldn't want to put Goten and Trunks in danger by any means. But at the same time, I would have loved to see them do more than just send you the energy. I would have loved to see them say, "Nah, fuck what Goten." Oh, excuse me. piss on what Gohan said, or piss on what 17 and 18 said. I'm gonna go to the fight anyway because like my family's there. I'm not gonna like
in Fukatsu no F in the anime, yeah, because they came in as Gotenks. Oh my god, I'm playing the Kakarot soundtrack, and the end of a mission theme just sounded off, and I got flashbacks. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Geeks was kind of leading me through this one since it was my idea we want to expand on.
Mm-hmm. I've got somewhere I want to take it next, but if you still got something you wanna discuss with Smug, you can carry on for a little bit. Yeah,
you were quiet for a bit. So if you have anything else to say, my guy, just
all right. Okay. So I'm gonna pitch to you, and this is the fun thing about this. People listen in because you'll get to see me do this. I'm gonna pitch with everything you're giving me what I would do, and then you can take what you like from that, or what you dislike from that, and we'll write it down, and then we'll break it up, and then we'll flesh it out, and we'll kind of have a little bit of a round robin where Smuggy can bring in ideas as well. We're going to kind of talk it. But I'm going to give you the base idea where the facts you've given me, we start this universe, the divergence was, what if human Z fighters were Saiyans? We go through all of these things. It started with the wish from the Dragon Balls. We're now on Namek, and you want the main characters to be Goten/Trunks. This is what I would do. Okay. So everyone in the Dragon Ball fandom has kind of sometimes this is justified, but there's an argument here, a obsession almost with hybrids. And this is something that is all the way back to when Nappa brought this up. He's like, hybrid Saiyans, maybe that's what the Super Saiyans are. And then when Goten and Trunks got made, they were kind of the epitome of that, even more than Gohan. So this is where we first saw they can go Super Saiyan like that, like instantly. This is amazing. And they built up with all this potential, but then they kind of peter out and they don't really do much. And like you're saying, like, we're in Super, but now they don't really get a chance to do anything. They don't really get to have it despite having such potential. So the question then becomes, and what I think the question is, something you should answer in this, is like, is that actually what made Goten and Trunks strong? Was it the fact that they were hybrid Saiyans that actually was that potential? Or is it just who they were as people? They just thought it was because they were Saiyans, and so they thought they didn't have to try hard and they could just coast by it, and that's why they haven't made any more games. And the reason we talk about that is because that directly ties in to the opposite thing that Krillin and Yamcha had, where they're like, we need to be Saiyans because our potential as human is limited, and Saiyans have all these things. Goten and Trunks are like the embodiment of potential Saiyans, presumably. So they arrive on Namek, shenanigans ensue with what they're looking for, but I feel you put them in a situation where their Saiyan heritage becomes a weakness, where the fact that they are Saiyans is what holds them back and is what means they can't do it and is what makes them get beaten. Like, let's say that Act 2, or however parts is said, the fact that they are Saiyans is the direct reason for why they lose this fight or why this bad thing happens or whatever. And then they overcome that by being on Namek and being with these spiritual people. Maybe they talk to one of the elders, or they talk to one of the people in there who's can tell them about the history of like, well, us being Nameks doesn't mean we can do magic. This is something we had to learn, and anyone can learn this kind of thing. They go through that, and then it's when they realize that their real strength was never that, and that's the question you do as this, and that's the saga. That you can build plot around it, you can pick which villain, you can play with the events and scenarios, but I think that's the emotional core, is Goten and Trunks going through an arc where they have to realize that them being Saiyans doesn't give them a free pass.
Before we go any further, I want to tell you a few reasons why I really, really like that pitch. One of them being, one plot point I kind of set up in that idea is Krillin kind of stepping up for this new generation of kids and saying, well, hey, I'm going to be the Master Roshi of this generation, but I'll be better than Roshi. I think I have a few things written down for the first few notes I had for it, where there was a conversation he has with Master Roshi where Master Roshi says, like, kid, take it from me. The next generation is always going to overtake the last. It will happen every single time. Not only that, you boys have all grown powerful and brought some mighty powerful prospects into this world. So let me ask you, wouldn't you like to be a part in honing them into martial artists who seek ever higher heights? And Goten would be the first person to kind of seek out Krillin for training because of something that we have happened in, I think it's part 5 of the series? Yeah, part 5. Because of a fight he sees him take place in that is really, really impressive to Goten, because of who he's seen lose in the same fight. He'd seen like all the Earth fighters that weren't, the main Saiyans. His brother fall to this threat, and then Krillin comes in and with really, really good technique that's been honed over years and only been enhanced with Saiyan skills and battle instincts. He's really, really impressed. He's seen a way of fighting that he's never seen Goku or Gohan or anybody else. So that would be one direction that Goten starts taking is, I want to start to kind of get stronger because my dad's strong, yada, 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 like that. And that also leads back into the idea I had of him like starting to kind of move into that character who is kind of a ladies' man, kind of enjoys being around women who enjoy him. Another reason I really like that is because in the latest part, the way that Gohan and Trunks end up protecting the future for so long is that Gohan teaches Trunks the fusion dance there, and they actually form future Gohans. It is future Gohans. But it was a different version of him than the Super Dragon Ball Heroes series usually uses. Oh, there we go. You actually wrote that. Perfect. With the one that the humans can get. And what was the other reason I really enjoyed that? Yeah, the actual part of not their genes being a very big part of it, because the other 3 characters they're going to be leaving with also have the Saiyan hybrid thing going on, but there's also kind of more to each character. They've also they're females, and I feel like young female children kind of mature quicker than young dudes do. At least in my case, that's true.
At least they haven't matured.
Yeah, listen, the memes we made before we got on stream would have all canceled. I'm just gonna be honest. But yeah, they kind of know who they are. They kind of know where they're going. They kind of know what their skills are, way more than boys do. And I think that'd be kind of another fun dichotomy to kind of force them to kind of deal with. Like, the girls are kind of getting ahead of you for whatever reason. Just kind of deal with that. I also enjoy the idea of having them think like fusion is our strength, but at the same time, there's a part of me that wants them to still learn the lesson of there will be foes that may be able to neg fusion though, so we need to be able to like deal with that as well. Because with Moro, we've had the first enemy that if Gogeta or Vegeta were something we really even wanted to defer to, we did not have that option for the first time. And I imagine going forward that will start to be a more and more frequent thing, just so we don't have these really easy options to get rid of the villain.
And I think the good thing you can do with that is you get like a Dragon Ball thing, right? Where like you have that final conflict, final fight, and fusion is presented as an option that starts working, but then it gets negged mid-fight, and then something else they try and do, and then that doesn't work. And you do the Dragon Ball thing where you introduce a concept that is here to save the day and it's the best thing ever, and then it doesn't work.
Hello? Hello?
As your dual protagonists, it only makes sense to have Gotenks have a prominent role because he's both of them. That you get to, yeah, exactly. You get to have him in that role, being able to give them both of them development because Gotenks is the fusion of Goten and Trunks. But at the same time, you're right. You don't want it to be the way. You don't want just Gotenks to show up and then they win. You want to have those that when you write the fight scene, and we can get into that later on, once we've like picked the villain and different arcs and stuff. You set up like you want to make the heroes feel like the ultimate underdogs, so everything they try just doesn't work over and over and over again until finally the least inspected thing is what finally lets them prevail. It's how Toriyama does it, and I think it feels very Dragon Ball. There are no easy victories in Dragon Ball. There's always complications.
That is true. Something you've just said has given me an idea. Now, it's an idea that I'm probably going to be introducing into a episode of the PlusUltra podcast, which is a series I do on my channel where we'll take a what if idea and not really put as much effort as I would into a main what if series. Some of the details won't be fully fleshed out as they usually would. There's no actual like visual on screen, just gameplay to watch, or just listen to if you want to do it that way. I'm going to be doing a version of that with a friend of mine who I've known for a long time through YouTube named Trex. It was an idea that he first pitched to me a long time when I first started the channel, which is what if King Kai taught fusion? Not that he knows it, just like what if he had the ability to teach Metamorph fusion? And one idea I've had with that idea is if fusion is learned early and you start seeing fusion characters like formed and able to fight, interact with the world around them way earlier, could that lead to that fusion character developing like more of a mind of their own, more of a will to like want to live in their own existence without having to be formed by these like weaker two people?
That's terrifying.
That's a really terrifying idea.
You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you guys ever did this, but the British Sonic the Hedgehog comics.
They had
part of that was they had Super Sonic is a different entity who's like crazy, and he tries to break away from only appearing like as a transformation.
That's
and then he becomes his own entity, and Sonic has to fight him. But imagine that, but with Goten.
That's actually sick, dude. I want to do
Yeah,
that now. Damn
and
it.
I'll tell you another really big inspiration of that idea. It comes from Bleach. There is a anime weapons becoming your biggest adversary.
You know what we do, man. You know what we do. You guys tell me if this is it, but you know what else we do?
What's up? What's up?
Something happens, right? And maybe we make this like an OC, evil Namekian, or if you want to just get easy renders,
Slug.
we make this a version of Slug. Yeah. What we do, right, is they come on to stop that threat, and then during the thing they turn into Gotenks, and then they use some fucking Namekian like forbidden magic, and what happens is it splits Gotenks from Goten and Trunks, but not just that, Gotenks keeps all the Super Saiyan. Goten and Trunks can't go Super Saiyan, and Gotenks has got Super Saiyan 3, and there's no time limit, and they have to find a way to beat him.
I'll tell you why that sets up such a good villain, because
and you make Gotenks the villain, yeah.
Yeah, the main mentors there are Gohan and Trunks, and they also have a fusion dance they can do, but like, hey, this is like an actual fusion. It's like living now. Its potential is like higher than anything because it's literally never trained a day in its life. Any fight it lives through, it's getting stronger from. It does not matter if you like, oh, you punched him a bit and he like punched you back. He's going to be stronger on that second punch. It does not matter. You've created a fully detailed to where you would be like a real story. It'll be very close to, but you just won't have all the actual beats of it. One idea I had was Gotenks still splitting off from them. Right back to it. Listen, I'll sequence right back into it so well. But the idea I had was Gotenks stepping up as an antagonist to make the people who make him like individually stronger, make them like better parts so that his whole is also improved. I think that would also be a really cool motivation for him to have in that scenario, possibly at least.
Yeah, or maybe even you could do a Dragon Ball thing where you have one of the Namekians know that this wish happened, right? That know that these humans turned to Saiyans, and like not in the sense of not wanting to undo that, but kind of in a, did you really need to do that? Was that maybe a mistake? Let me try and teach the kids a little bit of a lesson. So act evil and get Gotenks, like the split, and then Gotenks just acts pure evil. But because it's Gotenks, you reveal at the end of it, when Gotenks is defeated, that Gotenks just really wanted to pretend to be a supervillain for a little bit. Gotenks just thought it would be fun to play supervillain. So like he's like, I am the Grim Reaper of Justice. Like, like have Gotenks like do it and play it straight. Like don't reveal it. And which is gonna be funny because I'm just saying this on stream, but like people watching the video will probably watch the stream. What you do is at the end, once they find, like they do the final, like everyone does a massive beam attack and blasts through the galactic donuts and sends Gotenks away. And then they're just like, they're panting. Gotenks lands, and then they're like, no, I can't believe this. And then Gotenks like, I'll kill you. And then the Namekian comes up and says, all right, they've learned the lesson. And then Gotenks like, oh, okay. That was getting pretty intense for a second there. And then just like kind of chills out.
That'd be pretty great. Oh,
okay, I actually like that, and I think I can set up an idea to do it that way. One idea I had with like them really wanting to go with Trunks to space is like, yo, almost all your like friends and family, if you've been like a friend of the Z Fighters, have been to space. Tenshin Han and them really haven't, but they've been to Otherworld, so they've been off planet, they've done things that you haven't yet. It's got to be really hard to like grow up in that like atmosphere and be like, oh yeah, you remember when we went to Namek and did all that stuff with Frieza? That was crazy, right? And Goten and Trunks was like, yo, like, fuck, wait, we didn't get to do that. So I'm sure if that were to happen, they would want to go to Namek. They want to have the full like Namek experience. Like, yeah, we want to go and beat bad guys and collect the Dragon Balls. Okay, cool, we can do that. But like the Namekians have this whole like, you know, little trial you have to go through to like earn the right for the Dragon Balls. Me and Gohan
like
have
in
done
like the fake Namek,
like the fake Namek one. Because canonically they were supposed to like go through some like form of like, oh, prove yourself to this elder, then prove yourself to that elder, and like keep going to get the balls. I think that's a really good idea to like use that as the setup. Have the first few Dragon Balls go really, really easy. Maybe a few of the elders like notice something with Gohan and Trunks where like, oh, they're like really, really cocky. They're strong, but like, you know, could be like really detrimental. There's like latent power in these kids with these dark emotions. Yeah. You can, you know, frame it however you want to. Have them set up to where telepathically the Namekians decide, okay, I want this test to be harder than it was initially going to be. How do we do that?
Cannon Slug.
I was about to say, so when they get the Dragon Balls together, I don't know what you can do. Have either the Namekian speaking Namekian to Porunga to make the wishes for them, do something that's like, incapacitate Gohan and Trunks, or take Gohan and Trunks back to Earth, which is like the first wish or some shit. Like, oh, why'd you do that? Oh, because we're about to do the other wish. Revive all the people that Trunks came here to revive. So now Trunks' whole mission is done. He doesn't like need to be on Namek anymore. But oh shit, the kids he brought here with Chi-Chi and Bulma and the other mom's permission are trapped on Namek. Yikes. And beyond that, the Namekians have started their test and just saying like, yo, Porunga, bring forth a warrior through which bring forth an opponent through which these warriors will be tested. That's what they say. So Porunga's just like, alright, but I'm finna monkey's paw this because that was like really, really open-ended. Brings forth the strongest being he could from those around him right now that would also have reasons to fight, which would be whatever we just said. Either I want to play a villain, I want to make you stronger, or I actually just am a villain. Gotenks arrives, and then that's the arc. Your superheroes, your like main, you know, mentors, they are not on planet with you right now. You are faced alone with Goten, and you have Trunks. You're no longer Saiyans anymore. I really do like that idea
that sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, and just the girls to help you. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Real quick, Professor Chimp, my guy, he helped me write a lot of the what ifs. He said, loving the discussion so far. Keep up the good work, you guys. And he sent $5. So thanks, my dude. I appreciate it.
Big appreciate. Thank you.
Very appreciated, my guy.
Yeah, I think it's going really smooth for our first time. What do you guys think?
I think so as well.
Okay. All right. We've done a good job right now of getting the basic pieces. We've come a long way already from just like the basic start of everything. I think this is a good foundation. Plus, do you want to now? Let me put act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Now, this isn't something you have to follow, and this is something you can disregard, but I think for the purpose of the stream and the purpose of just getting the idea in your head of the beats, this will be a good thing to, all right, let's start. What does Act 1 of this story look like? How do we start the story? And what, all the way up to, let's say Act 2, the beginning of Act 2 is Evil Gotenks appears. So Act 1 is going to be everything up to that.
Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to break kayfabe and just reveal to everybody that I actually have a script for this already started. It's like...
Oh, snap.
Listen, I'm breaking kayfabe. It's only so far started. I'm going to share it into our server real quick, just so you guys can actually have access to it whenever you want it. But I'm going to read a few aspects of what I have for the start here, because this also takes ideas I had for some of the things that I wanted to use for the I wanted to keep doing the part 5 excuse me, I'm getting way too off kilter. The way I would usually try and do a side story to a what if before I got this idea from Geeks was I would take whatever the last part of that series was, and I Kingdom Hearts it. I'd put like 0.5 and then asterisk the title of the what if. I've done this with my what if Goku, my version of what if Goku joined Raditz. There is a side story to the what if Piccolo turned good early story. There's one to the human Saiyan story already. And I was going to keep doing those at one point just because I had so many ideas for things that the Human Saiyans kids and like the Human Saiyans themselves could get into during the downtime between big fights. So this starts taking place at the end of part 7 of what if the human Z-Fighters became Saiyans, which is the last part that was posted. And it just goes through the last bit of age 779. Well, we have some small events that just take place for the Z-Fighters. And going into age 780 is when they're going to convince their parent to allow them to go with Trunks. That entire time between that aspect, Trunks is building his time machine. I believe it did take like a month or so for Dr. Briefs to do it for Goku. So, or not ship. So arguably, I'd say Trunks can do something similar, or like at least a little bit slower than that. By the time he's ready, he's going to come pick up the kids. I think what I want to have happen is Gohan is going to be participating in the Tournament of Power. And that's going to be part of how the kids convince their parents to let them go. Okay, you have one dangerous option for us here, or one dangerous option for us here. You've just told me that dangerous option number 1 might end with us all being killed, or I might not let them tell them that. Can I at least go into space if I'm going to die? Like, that could be one way they pose it.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Mom, if I'm going to die anyway, why not let me go to space? All right. But yeah, they're going to join Trunks for like the first bit. And the first 2 pages of this are just what they're doing during that time. So small bits of their character development where they're starting from there. The first thing I have Goten doing is seeking out Krillin to like be very serious about it this time. Like, yo, would you please start training me? That's when I also have the small flashback that Krillin has to talk with Master Roshi. And I'm not going to reveal what I did there's one little thing I don't want to reveal there. So we move on from there. You start going to every character, have their little thing. At the end of that, age 780 will start, and I'll also have a small part that just says, at this point, the main Z-Fighter is actually going to participate in the Tournament of Power. That's canonically supposed to take 48 minutes. So what Gohan expects to do is, I'll go to that. When I get done, I'll come catch up with you, Trunks. So what we could do with that is, through that, Gohan and Trunks can meet back up on Earth at the same time. I'm just not thinking about that because you asked how I was going to start. But yeah, I want to start it with Trunks coming to pick them up and them like proving themselves to their parents and stuff like that.
Okay. I think that works. Because then you can have like, a lot of character acting in there. You can have you can have that as well. You can have like the characters bouncing off each other a little bit. Kind of that chill but calm before the storm type vibe, but maybe also bring up have something like maybe Goten is maybe being a little bit of a little shit to the girls, of because maybe because again he's a young kid and Goten's kind of a blank slate, and so he can make mistakes that he then has to learn about, and it would also explain maybe where this is where Goten's get a little bit of his cheekiness from. Maybe Goten is like a little you're not real Saiyan.
Oh my god.
Kind of. Yeah. But having get his shit kicked in for that, and he has to learn it and make it up.
Have him
Because
be
again,
racist.
yeah, well, basically,
Yeah.
have him because he's 8. He's 8 years old. Like,
so I love that. But you have to remember, this is number one. We've at least had like 4 or maybe 5 years since the Buu saga, so he's almost going on to 13. Super just does a very bad job of aging him up. Beyond that actually is a plot point that was used in the story with Vegeta influencing Trunks a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, because I thought that would also be like because
Vegeta
and Ten Shinhan in this story start off like really, really antagonistically. It is not made better by any of the humans becoming Saiyans. Like Vegeta views them very much as fake Saiyans. He imbues that into Trunks, who like has to go into the world now with like Goten being his friend still, but like Goten is also friends with these kids that like his dad doesn't want him to be friends with. So that becomes like this big thing for Trunks that he actually ends up getting past and kind of being like, hey dad, like you're lame. I'm done. I'm just not listening to you. Fine. And then he's just friends with the girls at that point. And beyond that, Vegeta also kind of learns his lesson by the end of part 2. To kind of like very much edge away from the whole like fake Saiyans idea. So I would do that idea, but I don't know if it works. Now I know one thing I could do is one thing I have here is Kurizu, the girl with the red hair.
Mm-hmm.
She is supposed to be the child of Yamcha. And do you guys remember the orange-haired lady that ran with Mr. Satan?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, Miss Pizza. So what happens in this timeline is Buu dies. Buu does not get to go live with Mr. Satan and all that stuff. He actually gets capped really, really early on. Say it for you, bud. So what happens is Yamcha at that point, because like your boy just ain't got nothing to do, is like recruited by Mr. Satan, who is like seen him through the Cell games and stuff like that, and like knows it. Like what actually ends up happening is Cell Juniors are made to like fight each of the new Saiyan humans and stuff like that. There's a big tournament that goes down with the Cell Juniors. Hercule arrives to that. Cell Junior is sick on her. Yamcha convinces Ten Shinhan to help Hercule like not die through this. So that'd be like kind of shitty. They do that. Then Hercule like pulls out and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna like let my students here like teach you yada yada yada," and jumps out. He's like, "I don't want to fucking die." Sits there, watches the rest of the Cell games like normal, and just that gives him a familiarity with Yamcha, and he kind of owes him something because Yamcha just did like a good deed. So he offers Yamcha the same job that Buu had of just like, "Yo, will you just like come to tournaments and like make sure I keep my spot?" And Yamcha's like, "I don't really care about it, and the money's good, so sure." Mm-hmm. And what I was always gonna build from that was Yamcha taking over the like spot of Hercule as the new Hercule and like playing up that spot, because I have a really big issue with him going to baseball games and just beating up like untrained baseball players. I have the same issue with that. That was one time, but I have the same issue with that I have with the end of Bleach, where like one of our like massively strong characters just like enters into professional boxing, and it's like, damn dog, that's not really fair. Like I get what you're trying to like push to, Kubo, but that's like really weird for this like megally like powerful character, almost like scales to Planet Busters in some aspects. I think Chad actually might be a Planet Buster.
Would you not do that?
He's definitely not. Just like abuse my powers to like do really well. And
yes.
Yeah. To be honest,
I would do that.
I can't say my real answer on stream because of fake integrity that I don't actually have. That's why.
You know what's so funny?
It's just the scene from the Incredibles where they're like telling Dash to like slow down.
Yeah.
To get second place.
That's just me IRL. But the funniest thing about that plush, as you were saying it, because this is just how I write, and probably why my fandom hates me, is like you just say, "Oh, you're building up Yamcha to like be the new Hercule, the thing," and like he's the one who's like taking like, "Oh, I'll take those dives and I'll get that cash." This sounds like a good deal to me. I found him. He's like they're in the semi-finals, and then Yamcha's like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll win this one and take a dive for you, Yamcha, Hercule," through some random freak accident, like he's got a stomach ache or something, Yorkshire loses. And then the guy Yamcha was supposed to beat goes to the finale, and then Hercule has to find a way to beat him. But then after it, Hercule fires Yamcha, and he's like, "You couldn't even win this." Just like Yamcha's like, "Oh man." It would be fair.
That would have been a really good part to write.
But that's how I do it. Is I just even when he's got a sweet deal, Yamcha finds a way to mess it up. So he just can't catch a break. I think that's why that'd be the Toriyama move of just never giving this guy happiness.
Yeah, that's fair. You can tell I'm not Toriyama because I've let him catch a few breaks. He's like had children and stuff. He's not like
no, that's an L, bro.
Being happy and content and having children, that's an L from me, Chief.
That was too good. Oh, snap. That's an L, bro. That's right, kids. Wrap up. Wrap up. It's like I know it's a what if stream. I know like what we're really here for. I see the number of people watching going down as I say this, but like wrap up, you know? Okay. Fellas, I think what we should do, I really enjoyed going through this first part, and that's actually a lot from what we have right now. We have acts to expand on everything. I think we should actually expand on somebody else's story for now, because I've been talking a lot in the stream.
I think the good thing to do now, but you let me know, Smug, if you're down for this, is we'll go to the chat, and we'll pick something from there to try and expand and work on.
The best way, because a lot of the stories do get round out, so the best way to get to us is through super chats. But I'm gonna try to get to as many as I see. I'm gonna scroll up too, because there's not as many people as there was before.
But then quickly, before he does, if you really got a story to do that super chat right now, and the first one to do a super chat will do that what if.
Yeah.
You do it now, do it quick, but you've got time, you're running out of time, it's not happening, it's going.
Listen, I have to apologize for my co-hosts being such greedy boys who just don't have the visual prowess I have as a Naruto fan to be able to read text fast with my Sharingan.
This man's got the Sharingan. I don't. I have stinky Goku eyes.
I'm actually blind, and I find this. I'm actually having to listen to voice to text right this second with the chat, and I just keep hearing, "What if Goku? What if Goku?" in the Siri voice, and it's driving me insane. Daredevil problems.
Daredevil problems. Let's see.
I see what if Goku beat Roshi in the 21st tournament. I feel like Moscow did a really significant version of that story. And beyond that, I just don't really have many ideas for it.
Goku would be like cocky and then like lame. I guess.
What if Future Beerus woke up and it was on time?
Wait, what?
What if Future Beerus woke up and it was on time?
Like before Goku died?
Well, hold on. If it's 17 years into the future.
It's like Future Beerus was around, it's just he had no reason to go to Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Goku was dead.
And then he died because Zamasu killed
Kai.
Supreme Kai died. So it's not like he didn't wake up. It's just we didn't see him because he wasn't.
It would really just be what if Future Beerus went to Earth.
Yeah,
and that's also been done. I'm sorry to cut you off. That's also been done a lot, and I think it really is just an excuse to get a Super Saiyan God Trunks, which I don't mind. Listen, if you like Super Saiyan God Trunks, just get your Super Saiyan God Trunks. But that's the only reason I don't really have many ideas to expand on. I don't know if the other guys do though.
I just don't think it's that interesting.
There's not as much to do, especially as well because you're having to change the character a little bit because Beerus will never be on time with his life dependent on you'll be effectively making a different character at that point. I think
succeeded Beerus.
I mean, that would be interesting. But like the key to what ifs of I think to have like some really good meat on the bones for it is like what Plus did. Is you have to find a decision for something that can split the point that makes sense, that a choice they could have made, but it doesn't change the characters, it just changes the situations. So example is like, what if Goku just randomly decided to kill people? Isn't really believable because Goku would never do that. He's just not the type of person. But like Plus did is, oh, well, maybe the humans are pretty insecure. Maybe one day they would just decide, hey, let's do this and try and get a leg up, because they do talk about like how unfair it is for the Saiyans a lot. So that is an in-character choice for them to make. I think is when you really get the spicier what ifs is when you have that, because then you're not contriving it for just plot. You get to explore the characters a little bit more and let them live with the consequences of their own actions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think a really go ahead, my bad, Smug.
No, I was just gonna say a different one. Go ahead.
I think a really good tool to use when evaluating a what if is what are the words you have to use to kind of explain what's going to happen. So, I'm doing a crossover what if with Naruto and Dragon Ball. So, okay, you can start that off with just like, okay, so by some divine intervention, X meets Y, and these universes are able to cross to where Goku just arrives in Naruto, vice versa, whatever you want to do. That can be the start of a what if. There will be a portion of your audience, no matter who you are, that's writing that they'll just accept that really easily because, like, yeah, okay, I understand you're just trying to set up the circumstances. It's a very hard way to do that without, like, there being some contrivances here. But if you can strive to have a reason that is in the series, clearly in the series, it is a recognizable point in the story, is a recognizable point in the story where something very different could have happened, those will usually be what if topics that have a bit more strength to them inherently than those which you just have to make very broad, vague condolences and, just like contrivances just to have the scenario happen.
Right, those are the ones that people don't like. And like the ones that people make fun of. There was one up here somewhere.
Like, what if Goku had the Sharingan Uzumaki Kaioken Blue 19 part 87?
No, but
no, that's in my drafts.
Creeper Man
My bad.
asked
My bad.
what if Frieza killed Dende when Dende was flying past him on his way to Guru? When Frieza just didn't care. I think that one might be a little more interesting.
That's not bad, because that is a thing that Frieza really did just decide on a whim. Is he could have, that is something where just like he hit the mood, stroked him differently. He was just extra annoyed that day, and he wouldn't even need to point at Dende to kill him. He just look at him and he'd just kill him. Frieza at that point. And then they don't have access to the Dragon Balls. They don't have warning that anything can happen. They have
your white mage is gone too, so that's like
exactly. So like the healing isn't as good. These different things. Yeah, that's not bad.
I think
that might have some legs to it.
Frieza just would straight up win at this point.
Yeah, but then the interesting thing is, like, well, how does the universe look like once Frieza wins?
Right.
Is you just
remember,
the interesting part for me is you get to have the heroes find some way somehow to win, but even if they don't, it's still interesting because now you have to deal with the consequences. Because Frieza still won't get his wish, so now Frieza's got like a whole what's his next move? Where does he go next? What does he explore? You can play with it. I wouldn't mind going with that one, but it depends on you, Plus. If you,
I like that one. Yeah, I'm thinking that yeah, I was thinking more. I was more thinking you could put in Nail to fly to the Dragon Balls.
Was Nail still alive? Yeah,
is
that before or after?
If Dende is flying next to him, by Frieza, like a pace that's like not just like, oh, you're just like lazily drifting by the way he was like when the saga first starts, that means that Dende has had his potential unlocked by that point. And oh no, that's when Frieza was flying back from killing Nail.
Is it? No, because he doesn't. He's not in his pod when he's with Nail. He's like running. This is before because Dende's leaving Guru's place and then Frieza's heading towards it, and that's why they cross paths. So this is Nail's still alive.
Nail, so what he was saying is like have Guru sense it and Nail tries to fly to make the wishes. But I don't think he would make it in time and make the wishes in time to
because Frieza would just kill Guru.
Yeah, right. So either way, I think it's a loss. It's a loss.
Yeah, it ends up being an L. Frieza has no more Namekians that he can get to communicate to Porunga with. So he probably ends up destroying Namek and just leaving very angrily. that means he also doesn't get to see a Super Saiyan at that point, and that all our heroes should be dead. Now, that also means if Piccolo is never revived, that we don't get a chance to get the Earth Dragon Balls back. And the best you could hope for at that point is Goku says, like, okay, I need to, like, shore up our defenses. We kind of just get together in Otherworld, train as hard as we can, and then one of us goes back for 24 hours with Fortune Teller Baba to try and deal with the threat. But even that's a very, like, bad fix. The only way you can probably do that is you have to put all your focus into Piccolo. Then you bring Piccolo back. Then you wish with the Dragon Balls. And then you have to hope that, like, you know, getting to that situation, Piccolo can deal with whatever situation he has to do while the Dragon Balls are gathered on Earth and stuff like that. So in a lot of ways, it just seems like Frieza wins and probably just gets really angry and probably goes to destroy Earth or something like that.
Sorry, there's like this guy in the chat being crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of messages getting deleted, but you know,
Chimp's Chimp's on top of things though. Appreciate it, man.
He is.
But yeah, like Alpha was saying, I think the more interesting thing is what happens to the universe afterwards. And I think Frieza would probably want to visit Earth. Because he'd be like, oh, these Earthlings were really messing with my plan. And I had to kill them. Let's check out the plan. It'll make a good parking lot. And at the very least, he'll like take over Earth.
But would he even go to Earth? Does he know about Earth at this point?
Yeah, because he would have to still fight the Z fighters, even if the dragon was.
Yeah, but in this situation, are they, because they don't have like a kind of like they're so caught off guard, because the reason they're so caught off guard is because they're making the wishes and then Frieza comes. If they can't make the wishes, all of their senses are going to be on Frieza, so they won't be caught off guard by him at that point. They might just try to fucking hide.
That's true.
Like that, it wouldn't be a difference because they wouldn't. Frieza doesn't sense ki. Frieza doesn't have a scouter. So if they can't use the Dragon Balls, then Piranga's not going to appear in the sky. So you're
thinking they waited out until Frieza just gives up and leaves?
No, it might just be like, okay, Namek's a bust. Get in the ship and go. Take Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Krillin. Get in the ship with Goku still in the healing chamber, and they just flee.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then the only way to get the fingers is then they have to go to like Vegeta's like, or someone like fucking. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. But like, they leave in Frieza's ship, right, and they have to just escape. And they look behind it and they see Namek blow off, and then Gohan's just like so angry, like he's so angry. And then Vegeta tells him, "This isn't the first time I've seen this happen. You'll get."
God.
Over, it's like, what the hell? And then Jacko comes out and just like, yes! Oh, Frieza's, oh no, that's Vegeta? Oh no! And then Jacko starts freaking out. But then like they talk about the situation, and then Jacko mentions, well, if there are any other types of Dragon Balls, we can ask Lord Zuno. And then they go to find the Super Dragon Ball. You can just spin it out from there, where it's Gohan, Krillin, Vegeta, Goku in the healing tank, and they have to try and find some other way to bring back Namek and everything. And even the good thing you can do is if Nail's still alive, if Nail's with them, if Nail's the one who ran to warn them and it just didn't work, you can have them go to try and find the Super Dragon Balls. And if they just do what they did to make the original Dragon Balls in the first place, where they get one, and then they shave off the pieces to make the regular Dragon Balls.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of different directions you could go with it. Like it's not just, it's out there and it's different, but like it's I'm saying, like you don't have to fit the format of nothing could happen by this point. This would just make a whole new saga completely different.
That'd be kind of sick, actually. Some Creeperman also pointed out that Guru might tell Frieza that the Dragon Balls die with him if he gets killed. But I think but the thing is, even if he told them, if Frieza got close enough to the Dragon Balls, I think Guru would just give up and like let himself pass, kind of like he did in the original. So I don't think either way it works, but that'd be really cool to see, actually, like an early intergalactic hunt The only thing is, I don't think anyone really knew. Oh shit, I didn't mute my phone. The only thing is, I don't really think anyone really knew about the Super Dragon Balls, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like the way you do that is you have them find out about Zuno first.
Oh, right. Okay. Gotcha.
Is you learn about Zuno first, and then you go past that.
Yeah. The only issue I would have with it is I feel like there's no situation in which like we get off of planet Namek without Frieza like killing us somehow. Like I feel like Frieza at that point is like such a massive threat that like, oh, you're trying to like fly from my ship, you filthy monkeys. Like, okay, I'm gonna point at it and you're all gonna like, oh, okay. Goku's ship is a different story. If it's Goku's ship, if they get in it quick enough and they just like get off planet and they're like hide, well, yeah, you can't sense ki, they're probably okay. But if it's like Frieza's ship and it's noticeable, no. And also, if they do it and like by the laws of Dragon Ball, Frieza's like fast enough to like catch up to the ship like as it's like lifting off or something like that, you can still just blow it up.
Well, you know, the good thing about that though is Frieza's still just in his first form, and Vegeta at this point is relevant to that. So like even if Frieza tried to like blow it up or anything, Vegeta could block it and just enough to keep him safe to leave the atmosphere. Is it because again, if Frieza wants to transform, it's going to take him a bit, and by that time they've already left. So even if Frieza does see it and tries to blast it out of the sky, Vegeta will be like, he fucking like puts his ki out and he makes a ki shield. And he's like holds it. He's like, hurry up! And he's like holds it, and that's so he can make like an action-packed chase sequence where Frieza, because Frieza can breathe in space, so Frieza can just keep chasing them. And Vegeta's like holding the ki shield up, and he's like, this isn't gonna hold. Hit the Star Wars style, like hit the hyperdrive. Boom!
Yeah, you gotta give it to him at that point because without it, they're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Out and it's over.
Exactly. That could be an exciting way to have a unique chase sequence.
And the only other issue I could actually like find with that idea is introducing the Galactic Patrol at that point. I know they existed because we see them like back in the day with like Moro and the Kais before like even Boo. So this is like a very long time ago. The Galactic Patrol is like existed. But I have to imagine that if the Frieza Force and the Galactic Patrol at one point were coexisting, then the power dynamics between them, even if Mirrors was like a factor at that point, had to be so far in the Frieza Force's like vicinity.
Yeah, 100%.
That if you were around, like the Galactic Patrol just wasn't around what the Frieza Force was. Like, oh, okay, they're over here, we're moving over there. We just can't afford it.
How I think you play that though, right, is you have they get away from Frieza and then they're in that ship, but it gets like really badly damaged. Kind of like an Avengers Endgame situation where like they're just stuck in space. And because of that, Jacko or someone else, but I think Jacko is the one you do it, because they normally see a Frieza ship or something and then they just stay away, run in your direction. Jacko sees how beat up it is, so he's like, oh, I can take the credit for this.
Yeah.
Say he destroyed. And then he lands in there, and then he sees Gohan, Trunks, Gohan, Vegeta, and Krillin, and they're just vibing. And he's like, "Oh shit!" But before Vegeta can just blast them, Gohan or Goku at that point would be healed. Are the ones like, "Hey, let's calm down. Let's talk about this." I think you can get away with like that. I think you can acknowledge that. Is you can have Jacko bring up, well, actually, we knew he was a Namek, but we didn't want to get involved because that's just the rule of the Galactic Patrols. Don't fuck with Frieza. But because go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, somebody pointed out. Yeah, Creepman pointed out. Yo, wait. To use the Super Dragon Balls, you have to speak the language of the gods, which Mirrors can use.
Exactly.
So that works.
So again,
actually, yeah.
there's this can work. This can form. This can be something new and different that isn't just the Cell Saga with something else. This is completely new territory. This is a whole new thing that again, which we've come from a very simple decision of. What if Dende died by Frieza? Which again is.
Can somebody jot some of this down because I can't really get to the Google Doc with how I'm set up.
I'll make some notes of this.
The only note I want to put on, if you want to cite Mirrors as like an option for the peas and carrots thing, the language of gods, you want to remember that Mirrors was able to hold off like a really powerful version of Moro, just using more weapons and not like using his angel powers at that point. So if we actually he doesn't do training, he's supposed to get stronger from that point or anything like that. It's not to say like he was weaker back in the past or anything. Like he's just an angel. So if that's the scaling he has, then dealing with Frieza, like no matter which form, should be really easy. But
this is what you do.
Yeah, you've got to have Mirror not want to be involved at all. You've got to have him like very, very far from.
They definitely.
You know what you do with that as well is you just have Mirror. No, you haven't. You convince him to help, but you have Mirror say this. It's like, oh, I'm too scared of Frieza. We don't want to, because Mirrors can have a. You can even include a scene like a flashback scene or something, where like Mirrors goes to the Grand Priest and asks, "What are we going to do about Frieza?" Because this is, I can take down petty criminals and you're fine with that because that's not getting involved. But he is the emperor of the universe and he's doing these evil deeds. If I take him out, that is getting involved on the biggest scale possible. And then the Grand Priest is like, Universe 7 must decide its own fate. If Frieza is meant to be defeated, warriors will rise up to defeat him, but you cannot get involved. The scale of this is too big for you to get involved, otherwise you will lose your thing. So Mirrors is like, he has to lie and say, I can help you out, but I can't fight because I'm just too scared of Frieza. I think that's what you do. You have that situation where Mirrors can be involved and he can help, but we also establish why they didn't stop Frieza in his thing is the rest of the Galactic Patrol are too weak, couldn't even if they tried. And Mirrors, who could do it, wasn't allowed because Frieza is such an important galactic figure that only the God of Destruction can decide if to destroy. And Beerus is like, oh yeah, Frieza can do all my dirty work anyway. So Beerus cannot get involved because Frieza is effectively protected. And what that does then is you can have Mirrors kind of go through a different thing that he had in the Moro arc. As you look at the Moro arc a little bit differently now if you see this what if. Because then you can be like, oh, this is why he was willing to give up his existence for this. Because he'd been in this situation before and he turned the other cheek. But now with Goku there, it inspired him to not let that happen again. So again, there's a lot of good character things here. You can really think like Vegeta and Goku are now stuck on a ship together, and Goku's had his Zenkai, so now he's stronger, and Vegeta doesn't know how to deal with that, because Vegeta, again, he's only in that like 240,000 range. Piccolo's still dead, all of these things. Gohan's still dealing with that. He feels he failed. He thinks that he got the whole planet blown up. Like, all of these different things I think you can deal with of when they have to scour the universe to try and find a thing. Meanwhile, you're cutting back to Frieza, who's going on the warpath, trying to find these people. And you can even have them have this decision where, like, very similar to Moro arc, where they're like, they get to Zuno's palace and they start asking him his questions, right? But then they get the problem is they get word, like Jakku on his communication device is like, oh no, Frieza's gone to Earth and he's looking for you all and he's going to destroy the planet if we don't get back. So now like, oh, what do we have to do? Do we stay? Do we go? Like, you can have like really good, you can make this whole art. Like, again, I think this is solid. One of you guys should take this 100%.
Yeah, this was fun. The title is the only thing that bothers me, but I think you could work.
I think you just put what if Frieza won on Namek.
One on Emma. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you start off by having him kill Dende.
Yeah. This one's fun. I really like this one actually. They did point out the Super Dragon Balls are on Universe 6 as well, so we'd have to go there too. But not visit any planet or anything like that. So that's cool.
Are we typing in our talk right now?
I'm typing out all the things so you guys can vibe for a little bit. How dare you?
listen. We can be different. We can be different.
Yamaro plus ultra.
This is how I start the feud.
Exactly. This is how we've already got beef with Smog. I just need to complete the beef for this here.
There you go. That's right, boy. You tap them letters into a sequence that spells out a word. You do it.
Until what time did we wanna keep going? By the way.
I mean, I think this has been good. This has been a good thing. We're almost at 2 hours right now. You guys can, if you want to go talk, like, take some suggestions for the chat for a little bit while I type this one out, and we could maybe either briefly go over another one, or we can just call it quits once I've done all this. Because I think this is a good introductory session.
Yeah. Oh,
Sure.
that's true. You need an angel cube to go through between universes. So how do we deal with that?
I mean, again, if they're looking for the Super Dragon Balls, they can run into Shampoo Vados. There are options. I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm just saying there are options here. Because we know Shampoo and Vados wasn't sleeping. He was looking for like 30 years. So he was looking.
Yeah, even in that context, I wouldn't even be mad at an author for saying Zeno had an angel cube at that point just because he had so much knowledge, and he seems so knowledgeable. It seems like he kind of could go to different universities if he probably wanted to. If that was something like an author wanted to put in for that story, I probably wouldn't question it that hard. Though that is an option. That is an example of just kind of throwing something into the story to make your story working kind of.
Yeah, again, it's not that important. If we needed to go to Universe 6, we'll find a way to go to Universe 6. That's the story is first and foremost, and the logistics behind it will bend to whatever we need them to. Which again, it goes in the same thing for like power scaling or whatever. It's like those are nice if we can make everything fit neatly, but at the end of the day, the characters and the emotions are what we're really looking for, and all of that is secondary.
All right, chat. So, you guys, give as many what ifs as you guys want, and we'll take a couple and we'll discuss them. Just short, little things. But if you guys have any that you've been wanting to, hit up.
Real quick, before we end the stream, I would also like to kind of go through some of the ideas and like things we have planned for this series or like this little project of ours, so that our esteemed guests here know what to look out for, and that we'll be switching who streams the series each time we do it.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll do it now. Okay, cool. So we are, like I put in my community tab post about this, we want this to be a really, really, really big project that probably goes on for a long time. We're thinking about making this a weekly series that will go around the same time each week. Wednesday, probably around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and probably go out for hour and a half at the very least before we end it. If they're longer, but we won't ever push one to be super, super long. Streams will also be removed after 24 hours on the main channel, and from there, they will be in a playlist that will not, negatively harm the analytics of whoever's channel that's on at the time. So if you're ever looking for the stream, I also think we should just we are going to make just a playlist for these live streams on their own, where it's just, just imagine what if straight live stream, the first one, and then there'll be another one, and then another one, and they'll just go from our different channels, because we want to have this be a round robin kind of thing. We'd also like to have some special guests. Won't be spoiling who those will be. And we will also be having a rule of there might be times when so-and-so can't make it to a call, so they'll have a substitute. And when they have a substitute, that substitute will kind of come in and be like, hey, so-and-so couldn't make it. I'm here to kind of discuss what ifs, and they will shoot ideas back and forth there. Is there anything else that we made that was like a serious decision they should know about? Always be this. We want to get like a special piece of art done for this series to kind of like be for this that we'll use for everyone. And I know another idea we wanted to do was, if you guys ever want to start a thing of fan art, like we had a discussion in a go ahead.
We got disconnected.
Oh,
all right, start with the fan art stuff.
Bet. If you guys hear a story or an idea or a concept or anything that you really enjoy, and you just get a wild hair on your ass and you want to draw some fan art, go ahead and do it. Please tag us in it, post it somewhere. We would love to share your creativity and your talent with everyone else. Plus, there's just something to put on screen here, and we like fan art. So we'll feature that through the series, and I think we'll probably think of some kind of hashtag for you guys to use and tag us with it, like maybe just imagine or whatever it may be. I don't know what you guys want to do.
Yeah. And we'll be did I get disconnected again?
No.
Oh, okay.
I stopped for you.
And we'll have a better setup and stuff. Like this is my own stream what's it called? Layout. We'll figure it out. We'll have our names and stuff like that. Hopefully, eventually, all of our faces on screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me look at
It's a
some
series
of
we
these,
like to grow.
Right. Let me look at some of these what ifs. That people have been suggesting here. Let me see. What if King Cold was revived in Resurrection F, so Pilaf Gang never got the wish, or instead of Frieza?
I mean, that could be interesting because I don't think King Cold would be the type of person to go for revenge. I think King Cold would be like run because he's a bit of he's a coward. Like Frieza can be fearful and scared, but Frieza like wants to like take. He'll let you know what his feelings are. Whereas King Cold is a little bit lazier. He's a little bit more like Frost in that sense, where he's happy to set back. Like he didn't really get. Like you can see the differences. King Cold ruled the Saiyans for decades and kind of left them alone.
Yeah.
But then like Frieza joined them for like 2 years and then blew him up. Like he's like Frieza is a much more hands-on, actually pure. They're both evil, but Frieza's like the fucking devil. Like Frieza is evil incarnate, whereas King Cold's are much more like, I'm not fighting those Saiyans again. No, we're not doing that. We're leaving. Whereas Frieza would be hell bent on that. So you maybe have like a Cold War, like Civil War, where like they try and aim control.
I was thinking,
and like you'd have fighting for control kind of thing. Maybe some of the Frieza Force, because I imagine the Frieza Force much prefers King Cold because he seems like he's actually a better leader. Frieza doesn't care about his army. Frieza would kill them left and right, whereas King Cold seems to be a little bit more like he'll spend time with his men, and he's probably the one who had like a good relationship with Captain Ginyu and all of that. Whereas Frieza, again, he's a brat. Like he doesn't care. So you could do stuff with that.
Whole army just to say like Frieza's not
exactly. And then when he found out, oh no, then the people aren't killing them. Then he killed them himself, just to prove a point. Again, Frieza's an absolute nut job. So, in very much the reason why Frieza didn't want Cold revived is because he knew that would happen. Yeah, he knew that would happen. That's what you called the what if, the Cold War.
Cold War.
That's good. That's really good.
Ace the Windrider said that. Yeah.
Bring in
That's my boy.
Yeah. Ace does a lot of great voice acting. You'll check out his channel. He does a Pokemon Ranger series as well. But yeah, like that's something you can do. Maybe bring in a canon version of Cooler and turn Resurrection F into Frieza trying to justify why we should do this very stupid idea, and the rest of his family being like, nah, B.
That'd be cool. Like Frieza just sticks with that first group that revived him. You know, Tagoma and whatever else. And King Cold goes out and like he's like, okay, there's got to be more of my men out there, and he gathers them like that whole army we see at the end of Dragon Ball Super. So Frieza just has like this small gang, but is like really powerful, and King Cold has this huge army behind him.
Yeah, you're right. Let me link the Ranger base real quick, Ace. You're right. I'll do that for you. You'll get that. You'll get that shout out from me. Though I don't know if I have mod status, so you might not be able to see it. But if not, I tried for you, and that's all. That's all that I can.
I do, so I'll get that up as well, just real quick, just so it does happen.
Creeper Man, that's really funny. He said that because he said he's writing this too. He said the way I had it was Sorbet ignited him to train while he was drunk to conform more to the original Resurrection F. But Cold doesn't want to train, so he finds Ginyu, and Ginyu trains for him in his body. And that's really funny.
That's really funny. Yeah, and then he swaps back.
He swaps back.
Or again, look at Dyrus.
That'd be really funny.
I wonder what DBZ would be like if everyone was reversed. As in, like, all the roles just switched between, like, the characters, so the villains are the heroes and the heroes are the villains.
Wait, what?
Like Earth-free Dragon Ball, where like in the Earth where all like the Joker's a good guy, but Batman's evil. He's Our Man. Like, what would the dragon? I mean, if you want to see that out, check out the redhead Henry did his evil Goku thing, and he basically did that. Like Frieza effectively runs the Galactic Patrol, and all the Saiyans are good, and Piccolo starts out as good. But yeah, but it's a really cool sprite series called Evil Goku. Yeah, like check him out. He does really great sprite fights, and like the backstory for it is effectively just it's not that just Goku's evil. It's just that everyone's moralities are reversed, and when Goku hits his head, he turns evil instead of being good. Is the Saiyans the Saiyans are sent out as like peacekeepers, like almost like Green Lanterns, where like we'll send the Saiyan to every planet, and then they'll be your greatest heroes. But Goku hits his head and becomes a monster.
That's pretty sick.
Interesting.
Actually.
And so, like again, he goes to Namek to fight Frieza, and Frieza's like the Yoda. Like he's the last remainder of like this great peacekeeping force that Goku's destroyed one by one. And now Frieza has to stop him. And then just as he's about to sleep, he becomes the Super Saiyan, and he's like this. Oh no, the evil has won. Like yeah, again, it's cool. That would be cool. Obviously, you don't want to copy that bit by bit, but maybe if you get like his, you could get in contact with him. You can. That would be a cool thing to do as a What If series, because again, he's animated the fights for it. So you could
I was about to say, can you actually link his channel in the chat down?
Yeah, the Redhead Henry. He does again.
Contact him and see if like we can like develop the surrounding story a little more.
Listen, you have the most
add voice acting and stuff like that. I haven't seen it, but it sounds great. We should try to do that. One of us should. I want to do it.
Yeah, you should do it, man. You're the bigger one, and I think it suits your thing. I've said the YouTube, the Redhead Henry. He's got a whole thing.
Just throw me under the bus, huh? Okay.
I mean, one of you could go for it. Then go for it. You go for it. Plus, we need the exposure. I'm happy.
Another one.
I'm. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, another thing we should talk about eventually. I don't think we have time for it today. Because I'm sure it would run longer. Is what if all of us were in Dragon Ball? I think that would be fun. People are always asking for it, and
you've seen Jiren, so you know how I'm gonna be.
Oh my god.
I
was thinking more of a Broly, honestly.
Yeah, me living on the wilderness until Cheetai turns up. Just me IRL, bro.
But that sounds sick. Sorry, you were gonna say something, Plus?
Oh, snap! Don't let me forget. Don't drop the ball.
What if I was a stick?
Come on. Yeah. What if Smug was actually a stick that was like, I don't know. Okay. I was gonna make a dirty joke, but I didn't want to do it. Yo, it was far too much.
If somebody said something into the Goku verse, yo dog, I've got a little Trunks thing that I'm gonna work on.
Oh snap!
I'm really excited about. Because like I was talking to Alfie about this, and I talked to Plus about it too. And like I don't think it's gonna do fantastic. I don't think it's gonna get more like 30K views, which which is like average for me, which is it's good.
But hey, we can actually use this right now as an opportunity to advertise this project. Make sure you guys are subscribed and liked and commenting and hitting the bell on all our channels, so we can all get big and watch YouTube number go burr. Thank you so much. Okay.
But I'm super excited about it. I think this is gonna be Super 17 in DBS was like my first passion project in this channel. Now this is my second one. I'm getting some concept art done for it, so I can have on screen for specific scenes, and I'm definitely gonna get some voice acting done, and it's gonna be cool. I think it's just gonna be a one shot because I don't think I can really make it any longer than that, but it's probably gonna be a fairly long one, so I'm excited for it. So you guys look out for that. Yeah, I need a What's Up Danger style song for sure. It's gonna be kind of crazy, and completely, it's its own like original saga. So like it would probably take place like right after the Moro arc, or before the Moro arc. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I'm excited for it.
Oh, don't play. Wait, there we go. Okay, good.
Nope, we got disconnected. Hold up. Why does this keep happening? Like it's back. Never mind.
At least it's happening at the end.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like the tail end of the stream when most people aren't here. Mm-hmm. But again, I wanna make sure that we give a very big round of applause to everybody who came out to the first of what is hopefully to be many Just Imagine What If live streams. And just like sat through us and bared with us as we got all this together. That was very, 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 very meaningful to all of us. We really do appreciate that.
Yes, thank you guys. Does this mean we're about set to end this?
Yeah, I think so. Unless we've got anything you want to close out with, feel free to end this up. It's your channel. This is your version. We are in your hands, and Mr. Smug.
Yes, sir. Let's do this, dog. You guys know I'm a showman. Love y'all. Thank you so much for coming on this first live stream of Just Imagine the What If live stream. It means a lot that you guys joined in. Alfie plus Ultra, thank you so much for coming in and helping out with this project, and helping me set up this, because I don't understand how OBS works. So I just want to thank.
We got through
it. For sure. I want to thank Professor Chimp and Sharo, who's not here right now, but you guys have been doing awesome moderating the chat. I really appreciate it. I didn't even ask you guys, but you guys just came in because you guys are the real one. Creeper Man, thank you for showing up. He's a really cool guy. He helped me edit the next video that's coming up. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Be sure to check out PlusUltra's channel. Here, hold on. Right before I leave, I'm gonna post you guys' channel real quick.
That would mean a lot.
Don't do it, you coward. You deserve to look at my link. I'll never be featured on a Smug Stick video. I'd rather die.
Here. Oh, you can pin things in the chat? I would have.
Yeah, my guy.
I didn't know you could do that in live streams.
You fool. Why do you always fail at Smug?
115k subs. 1,000, and he doesn't even know how to pin a message. I'm sick, bro.
Like, why am I smaller than you at this point? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I say we throw a riot. I say you guys just like jump ship and come to my
Really failing upwards right now. Can't believe this.
And don't forget to subscribe to me too, fellas. But thank y'all, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much, guys.